Yo, what up, Toshi here. Welcome back to a new Stella Sora video. In this video, we're going to talk about Shia, and we're going to talk about the upcoming character, Fuyuka. Which character should you roll for in your count, or should you just altogether skip Shia and just instead roll for Fuyuka in the near future, which her banner is actually releasing tomorrow at the time of recording of this video. The reason I'm even doing this video in the first place is because I never really made a video like this on Shia. I wanted to get her well invested to first and actually get a thorough understanding of the character's kit before I started talking more about the pool value of the character herself. I mean, obviously, we could take a look at the character right now on screen, just look at her design and say she has pool value alone, the most pool value out of any character in the game for me right now. But, actual like meta reasons, right? Her pool value is definitely dependent on not only how well you can like manage her animation canceling in the form of her auto attack, number one, and the other thing too is just how much investment you have into the character. We'll get into all that in just a moment. And you may get carpal tunnel along the way. But, it all depends. It hurts my wrist after a while. I really don't like playing the character that way. I'll explain that in a moment. And then you have Fuyuka, the upcoming banner character, releasing tomorrow at the time I'm recording this video, as I said before. And she is a Ignis character. The difference between her and Shia is that Shia already completes a team in the game now, but you can also use rainbow characters with her, which we'll talk about in just a moment. And then you also have Fuka, who completes a team that has not had a Vanguard of the 5-star rarity for said element. We've been missing that character since launch, right? And now we finally have that character with Fuka coming up. Anyways, let's hop into the video. This is a very long-winded intro. Unironically, this is one of the best pool values of the character, is because she has the best background 2D art in the game. No character even comes close to this. Being able to have this as your back screen is a valid reason as to summoning for the character. She looks really good in this art. This character is really, really strong. The best character in the game, just solo, right? The best solo character in the game. She's extremely strong, very impressive when you get her animation canceling down right. Even if you don't animation cancel, playing her in just normal auto, she still feels really strong and is really impressive. Her ultimate hits like a truck and does so much damage to bosses. It is extremely good there. She's just an all-around good character. And even if you don't have her 5-star weapon, you get, or I'm assuming most of you that did the event that previously went away has her 5-star weapon, right, from that event, or the weapon for 5-star characters for Lux, right? You have the weapon, you can use that instead, right? Or you can use it with the 5-star weapon if you end up getting her weapon for one banner. It doesn't really matter. The thing is, though, is that you have more of a reason to pull for the character because you have a 5-star weapon for the Lux team. And then there's other like weapons you can have in that team, right? That's not how you do it. We go to here, go to details, and you have the Lux weapon. If you use this in the team, you get more damage, right? You get more auto attack and more ultimate damage, which this buffs Shia like crazy, which I'll talk about in just a moment. Now, the most important thing about Shia is that, again, since she is a character that is dependent on the animation if you want to play that way, right? If you want to play that way, this is to get the most out of the character. You play her, just like a normal attack abusing animation canceling character, right? Where you dash cancel the animation one, right? And this allows you to just constantly do a ton of damage to the targets that are right in front of you. So you want to squeeze as close as you can to the enemy when you do the dash, right? The whole dash, and then you let go and you deal damage, right? And then what happens is, since her attack hits in a cone, you end up hitting the enemy with all those bullets that come out of that cone from that snow rabbit. So I will have gameplay present in this video showing it. But yeah, you want to get as close as you can to the enemy to maximize that damage output. And again, the more reliably you can actually do the animation canceling, the more damage you'll get out of the character. So that's why I said there's a little bit of a skill gap in the character's kit, right? But, don't risk yourself getting carpal tunnel if you're playing on PC and you have it binded to shift to be able to dodge like I do. It's not worth carpal tunnel in your later years of your life. Now, the most important thing about this character is getting records that allows you to maximize the damage output from her auto attacks if you do choose to plan her like, the auto attack way, right? So getting stuff like this that increases the snow rapids damage, right? Getting stuff like this that increases the auto attack damage, right? Anything that increases your auto attack damage is going to be very nice. Having characters that also boost your attack and your damage is also really nice as well. Manova being a character that is definitely very, very much so replaceable. You can put another support in place of her. And to be honest, I hear that another support in the same team alongside your other support. So 2 supports with Shia as the main allows you to do more damage than having a character like Manova, who is a sub DPS in the team. because supports boost your damage like crazy. And for a character that is pretty much 95% of the damage output of the team, why not have another support to boost that damage even further, right? So it makes Manova have a lot less value. Despite Manova also buffing the damage of Shia, is just not enough compared to an actual support character. And then you want to look for potentials that increase your focus, which is going to be your auto attack damage, give you the most you can out of it. I've only gotten to 42. I have to do another record run to get this higher. And then attack is also very nice, increasing your attack further and then increasing your Lux damage if you can help it. But yeah, you really just want to focus on getting the auto attack damage up. This is going to be the most important part if you decide to play her this way. And then her ultimate damage is still really high. It's actually really nice. It allows you to do a ton of damage. Like for instance, let's say you're fighting a boss and you want to just relieve, the hits that are coming your way. You want to just iframe abuse. The ultimate is really nice, and being able to increase the damage of the ultimate makes her hit like a truck during that time frame where you're not doing the auto attack abuse and still feel like you're not having so much of a DPS loss, especially like mine with a lot of investment into her talents. Even when I press her ultimate, is not a DPS loss. But yeah, my runs are pretty bad. I just hit level 30 and my characters are not even that high level, but I still was able to get really far into the arena mode. So I go to Menace Arena. I got as far as I could, and I can't push any further in Menace Arena because it won't let me. I have to hit level 32 before I can push some more into the Lux Arena. But you get the gist. The character is extremely strong. She allows you to clear content that you have no business being able to clear because of the sheer amount of damage output you put out with this character. But yeah, I'm just going to let the gameplay speak for itself. And pretty much, long story short, if you want to play with a character that has a little bit of a skill depth to her kits, and to maximize that damage, you have to know what you're doing with the animation canceling, then she is the character for you. And also, if you just like her design, that's also a very valid reason as well. Even if you don't play her like that and you like to play the game in auto, which I do, you can still clear content relatively easily because the character puts out an obscene amount of damage even when you're not playing her at her auto attack abusing potential. With that being said, I love this character, and I'm very happy that she's in the game. So next up, we can talk about Fuyuka. We do not know what Fuyuka does currently in the game. We did get to see a glimpse of her kits. We saw the skills and stuff like that. So she has an interesting damage ramping up effect with her kit. It's very interesting. She also has a bunch of bursts, which is pretty nice. We'll see how she turns out when she comes to the game. Now, the reason why I'm interested in this character, even if I don't roll for her, I would still think about it because I actually am investing into Chixia on the side, and Chixia is a versatile character, but Chixia is nice off-field. Being able to have this character be an off-field character alongside, Fuyuka potentially would be very nice. Now, of course, it depends on the character and how she functions, right? Fuyuka could end up being a character that is much like Shia, where you would just want to have two supports. That could happen with the character. But just like I used Cheetos with another character in the team, such as Frisia, for the sub DPS capabilities of said character, it wouldn't shock me if Fuyuka ends up being the same as Cheetos, where you can use her alongside another like actual damage dealer and get a lot more out of the team damage environments, because she will play just like Cheetos because she is a short, like a melee range character, just like her. Except difference is that she seems to be more focused. Well, no, because Cheetos is also focused on normal attacks as well, right? Because it's like every melee character, to be honest. But I guess Shia is also focused on normal attacks. We haven't had a character that is solely focused on skill attacks yet for like a Vanguard type of character. So we'll see what happens in the future when they do release one like that. But it's not a video about Cheetos, it's about Shixia, right? And Fuyuka, who could probably will work with her because you can play Shixia off field. Now, the interesting thing about this character is that just like we got a free weapon for Shia in this event, you'll be getting another free weapon for Fuyuka in the upcoming events. So even if you don't roll for the weapon for Fuyuka, you can still get a lot of damage out of the character if you just use the weapon that the game provides you for free, and then use other alternatives you may or may not have on your account. Like for instance, they gave us a few selectors in the game, right? At launch, you could use those selectors and get yourself a 5-star weapon, right? I've already used both of mine. I actually just used my 5-star selector for the weapon, right? For the disc. on Nanoha's weapon, but I already have Chixia's weapon, so then I can just level this up when Fuyuka does arrive if I want to go for the character course, and I'll have the 5-star free weapon on the account, and then it won't be so bad, right? Because most of your damage is going to be coming from your records anyways, and getting the most out of those runs. And if you're not trying to push super duper high on leaderboards, you don't have to worry about min-maxing weapons in this game. It's all right. You don't have to do it. But if you want to push leaderboards, it's very important that you do min-max weapons. So going for a weapon is not such a bad thing, but just understand there is alternatives in the game. You really don't have to, right? They even gave us more weapons in the form of the shops, which I've already bought one of the weapons already for Nanoha, but they have weapons in this shop right here that increase your damage, right? Depending on the elements. And same as this shop here, you can see I already bought 3 weapons actually. I bought one for the Lux team. I bought one for the Aqua team. I almost said Ice team. I bought one for the Ventus team. I almost said Grass, which is the team I use with Nanoha. Yeah, you get the gist. You can use these weapons the game provides you in the form of 5 stars, and you get the same base stats as you would from the other weapons, right? Because they're 5-star weapons. That is pretty much the main value of the 5-star weapons compared to the 4 stars, stuff like that. You just get higher base stats, which does add a lot more attack and stuff like that to your characters. So it is important to get 5 stars, but the game provides you with a lot of free ones, so you don't have to roll for a weapon. With that being said, I'm excited to see how this character turns out. I've thought about making a new account and getting some pools on said accounts, and then trying to roll for the character, and then use like a selector for Chixia, and then use a weapon selector for Chixia's weapon, and then see how the character actually functions in a team with Chixia for the Ignis team. I want to do that. I may end up doing it. It's just I haven't thought about like actually legitimately doing it right now, because it does take a lot of time to play it on another account, especially in the beginning of a game like Stella Sora, where you have a lot to do, right, as a beginner player. But I'll probably consider it, because I'm not trying to roll for Fuyuka on this account. For me personally, I want to save all my pools for Rins whenever she releases. With that being said, good luck to those of you that decide to roll for Fuyuka. I'll probably have another video anyways on this character. And for those of you that are on the fence about whether or not you should pull for Shia, pull for her if you want to. If you don't want to, is not a feels bad. It's fine. She'll probably have a rerun in the future. Maybe she'll have a rerun alongside another Lux character. This is something I was thinking about in my head. Like I remember in a previous, I was thinking about if they ever rerun the summer event, because Kadin is a character they've actually have shown, right, in the events. And she is a character that is definitely coming to the game. This character right here, the one that looks great, the rabbit character. Whenever she releases, right, I expect some event like this to rerun, and maybe Shia would have a rerun at that point in time when this character gets released. So yeah, that can be a time window expected for this character to come back. But I don't want to sit here and give you guys, give your hopes up and, give you false information. So yeah, do what you will with that information. But that's it. Thank you for watching, and have a nice rest of your day. Bye-bye.